Everyone knows that most Christians believe in male authority and leadership in church and family. However, different Christian communities interpret this differently. The more liberal ones try to implement gender equality. Some have female pastors and suggest that gender roles in the Bible should be understood in the historical context and might not directly apply today. Some more conservative Christian communities believe that there could not be female pastors and that a man should be a leader in the family. There are churches or groups within bigger churches that take this understanding to the extreme and even proclaim some kind of a male superiority over women. However, in most cases, conservative communities are not strictly patriarchal. They are complementarian. To understand the difference, let's draw a graph. On the one extreme, we will have an egalitarian model or even matriarchal if we go hypothetical. On the other extreme, we have patriarchy or man's supremacy. Somewhere in between, probably closer to patriarchy, we have the position that the majority of Christians hold, called complementarianism. It means that men and women complement each other. They are better together and each one has something that another one lacks, physically, psychologically, and spiritually. Theologians explain it like this: men and women are equal in value, but different in role. God created men and women in His image and likeness. They are both equally precious and valuable to Him, but He gave them different roles. He assigned men to lead in church and family, and women to bear children and be men's helpers. Many feminists would claim that it is still patriarchy because men hold the positions of power. Maybe they are right, but such a definition of patriarchy is too wide and general and does not allow us to see details and better understand Christians. Now, what are these roles? Let's have some examples. The roles assigned to men are commonly to preach, to teach, and to lead. When it comes to preaching, I have already mentioned that conservative Christians do not have female clergy, pastors, bishops, and so on. They might have deaconesses, and even the Russian Orthodox Church used to have them, but their position is quite different from male deacons, and unlike them, deaconesses are not clergy. There are also exceptional cases where there are no men available to preach. In different settings or circumstances, there could be women-only groups that still want to worship God. For instance, in the 1950s, after the horrible war and the decade of bloody persecution of religion, many local parishes, especially marginal Christian communities, simply lacked enough men. There were occasional visits of pastors from nearby towns to offer communion, but most of the time women were left to have church life on their own. Local Baptist churches figured that some of their spiritually mature women could at least read from the Bible on Sunday services and represent their communities as formal leaders with the state authorities. Interestingly enough, the State Council for the Religious Communities emphasized that female leadership was against the Scripture in an attempt to suppress local religious activity. Now, what about teaching and leading as traditionally male roles? Does it mean that Russian schools with the vast majority of teachers being women and female politicians or directors contradict the Christian faith? Not at all. The emphasis both in the Bible and in Christian theology is usually put on preaching, teaching, and leading in church and family. In conservative Christian contexts, a woman is expected not to teach faith, with the exception of teaching other less experienced women or her children if their father is not around, and not to lead the church and family if there is a man in the house. When it comes to female politicians or even state leaders, usually even the most conservative Christian churches recognize the power of women presidents, queens, or empresses. Some say that the very existence of female leaders testifies to the corruption of mankind by sin. Yet, Apostle Paul teaches to obey and respect secular authorities as long as they don't directly interfere with faith matters. What are the roles of women in a conservative Christian family? Most conservative narratives emphasize childbearing and care for the family. Many liberally minded critics say that homekeeping is unpaid labor, and having children can be a burden and obstacle in the job market and gives women a significant disadvantage. Conservatives, however, believe that the role of a provider and protector should ideally be performed by men, although in the modern world many women are forced to work to support their families. It is believed that children and home should still be prioritized. As a husband and a father, I naturally have my own opinion on the subject, but this video is not about me. Please tell me what you think. What are the proper roles of men and women in the family, church, and society? Can there be a female preacher or clergy? Can women be state leaders? Should women strive for careers, or should they prioritize childbearing and homekeeping? What do you think the Bible and Christianity have to say on the matter? Please like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel. I see you all next time.